COVID-19, to fear or not to fear? So as I begin to record this, I'm sitting outside. You may hear some birds, some squirrels, even some traffic going by. I just got back from my second 1-mile walk today, trying to get some fresh air into my lungs. With that said, COVID-19, to fear or not to fear? Well, I can't answer for you. You will have to decide. But there is no question COVID-19 is no fun. There is no question COVID-19 makes people feel lousy. People are hospitalized. People die from COVID. People die actually from many causes. Is a positive test a death sentence? Is a positive COVID test a death sentence? Well, I was reflecting on that, and so I did a little research, and I went to the Ray County, Tennessee dashboard for COVID. This one is for September 26, 2021. Looking at new cases per day. Notice there are two charts here. On the left, new cases per day. On the right, new deaths per day. New cases per day. The scale goes from 0 to 260. From 0 to 260. Now let's look at August 31. There were 248 cases on August 31. If you went to the website and hovered over this area, that information would pop out. 248 new cases, August 31. It appears to be a major spike. But if you look a little closer, we discover there were 0 cases August 30. And actually, the 7-day average is 54. So we slide over to September 13. 201 reported cases new on that day. But there were 0 cases on September 11 and 0 cases on September 12. So in other words, a number of days reporting all was lumped together, and the average was 74 new cases. What about deaths? Now that's a significant question. We slide over here, and would you look at that spike? Look at that spike. What does it mean? Please notice the death scale is not the same as the cases scale. Look at this. Notice the high point on this graph is 2 deaths. Not 260 deaths, as in the cases. But when you just casually look at the two graphs, you assume that each of these vertical indicators are the same. They are not. So, on September 13, there were 201 cases and 2 deaths, as reported. September 14, there was 1 death. And September 25 to 26, September 15 to 26. That's September 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, September 26, which is as far as this graph goes, there were no deaths reported. So we are 2 weeks out from that spike as reported on the cases. And there are no deaths for all of these days. Well, what is that jagged line? The jagged horizontal line represents the week's average. And on the left side, on cases, the red line indicates the average number of cases. And on the right-hand graph, it indicates the average number of deaths. So for those hospitalized, it was no fun. And for those 2 deaths, it was a major loss. I'm not suggesting that COVID-19 cannot cause a death. Of course, there are many other circumstances involved. But COVID-19 is not a death sentence, is it? It is important to use all safe preventative measures available. It is important that we keep our immune systems fully supported, that we be living a healthy lifestyle. Healthy living. We've talked about COVID-19 related deaths. Now we look at the CDC, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, leading causes of death. Leading causes of death, and this data is for the United States. Heart disease. The number of death from this cause, 659,041. Cancer deaths, 599,601 yearly. When we talk about COVID deaths during the term of the pandemic, we're talking about what? A 16, 17, 18-month period? When we're talking about, according to the CDC, we're talking about leading causes of death, heart disease every year causes about as many deaths as there has been in the total time to this date caused by COVID deaths. We're talking a lot about the things that we must do to protect ourselves from COVID. But this is a once over a period of time experience. And every year, heart disease and cancer and other things cause more deaths. I want to give you a bonus now. A bonus. Our chances of death from heart disease or cancer are greater than by COVID-19, based on the statistics that we have just read. Our chances of death from heart disease or COVID are greater than by COVID-19. And we can greatly improve our chances of avoiding heart disease and cancer if we make some lifestyle choices. I want to speak to Christians, people who value the Scriptures. If you do not value the Christian Scriptures, then what I have to say now may just go right over your head. You may shut me down. It's your choice. We're talking about your health. I want to speak to you about things that you can do, that I can do. How does eating or drinking affect God? What does the Scripture say about that? So whether you eat or drink or whatever you do, do it all for the glory of God. 1 Corinthians 10:31. That's the Apostle Paul in the New Testament. And to what does he compare your body? 1 Corinthians 6:19. Do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you have received from God? You are not your own. What does it mean, I'm not my own? You were bought at a price. Therefore, honor God with your body. 1 Corinthians 6:20. We have a religious, a sacred obligation, responsibility to take care of our health. Our bodies have been entrusted to us by the Creator. Let me ask this. What was the original diet after creation? Genesis 1:19 says, Then God said, I give you every seed-bearing plant, that's the grain, on the face of the whole earth, and every tree that has fruit with seed in it, that's the nut, they will be yours for food. So what was the original diet? Given to the animals. And to all the beasts of the earth, and all the birds of the air, and all the creatures that move on the ground, everything that has breath of life in it, I give every green plant for food. And it was so. Genesis 1:30. What additional food was given after Adam sinned? After Adam and Eve sinned. It will produce thorns and thistles for you, and you will eat the plants of the field. Genesis 3:18. So the original diet included fruits, nuts, and grains, and after sin, vegetables were added, the plants. At the time of the flood, what did God tell Noah? Everything that lives and moves will be food for you, just as I gave you the green plants, I now give you everything. Genesis 9:3. But you must not eat meat that has its life blood still in it. So, if we're going to be eating meat, it should not have blood in it. It needs to be drained away. How about some more background, please? What did God tell Noah that would affect his choice of what animals he might choose for food? He said you can eat. Well, Genesis 7:2. Take with you 7 of every kind of clean animal, a male and its mate, and 2 of every kind of unclean animal, a male and its mate. Those are 2 interesting terms, clean and unclean. But notice, there were 7 clean animals and 2 unclean, a male and his mate, that were to be taken into the ark. God does not have to tell Noah if an animal is clean or unclean, because you read the scriptures, and it was the angel of the Lord that shut the door of the ark and brought those animals mysteriously. If Noah ate one of the unclean animals, there would be no more of that species of animals. Noah could easily see what was available as clean food. God differentiated in his instructions, clean versus unclean, healthy versus unhealthy. Take with you 7 of every kind of clean animal, a male and its mate, and 2 of every kind of unclean animal, a male and its mate. Genesis 7:2. So what's clean? What's unclean? How can I know today what's clean, what's unclean? How can we know today? First, we need to know if they're healthy. Whatever animal we're going to eat, it needs to be healthy. And why are we talking about meat eating? Because it is a known fact that meat eating is a major contributor to heart disease. So, can you really know if an animal was healthy when you haven't inspected the entire animal? You don't have to be a scientist to know that a diseased animal is not safe to eat. And unless you've raised your own meat and slaughtered it yourself, do you know if an animal is a diseased animal? Is it safe to assume your purchased meat is not from a diseased animal with the diseased part simply cut out? Are you willing to risk your life and the lives of your wife and children that your market purchased meat is not diseased? We don't have to hardly mention mad cow disease. How safe is the meat that we have to eat. We quote from Dr. Robert Talks of the Center for Disease Control as he talks about storage of meat. Safe storage temperature is 40 degrees Fahrenheit or 4 degrees Celsius. Meat stored above this temperature is unsafe. Defrosting tips for meat and poultry. It's a great idea to freeze raw meat and chicken if it will not be used within 2 days of purchase. Never defrost meat or poultry at room temperature on the bench top, according to the EPA. Wrapped fresh meat can be kept safe for up to 3 days in cold temperatures of 0 to 3 degrees Celsius. And what about cooking temperatures? As far as killing bacteria in most meats, internal temperatures inside the meat must reach 160 degrees Fahrenheit or 72 degrees Celsius. And then it must hold there, in some cases to be sure, the bacteria is dead. And I can tell you personally, we are not confident that we can be sure any meat is safe, so we have chosen a totally plant-based diet. And according to the Bible, which meats are classified as clean for food? Well, remember, no blood left in the meat. Take with you 7 of every kind of clean animal, a male and its mate, and 2 of every kind of unclean animal, a male and its mate. Genesis 7:2. So, how do I know what's clean and unclean? Is the cow a clean animal? I'm not asking if the barnyard is clean. Is the cow considered safe for food? You may eat any animal that has a split hoof divided in 2 and that chews the cud. Split hoof divided in 2 and chews the cud. And if you know your farm animals, you know that that applies to the cow. So beef, if it's healthy beef, is clean for food. Deuteronomy 14:8, the pig is also unclean, although it has a split hoof. It does not chew the cud. You're not to eat their meat or touch their carcasses. This is not just talking about eating. It's saying don't even touch the carcass of a pig. You can do your own research to see what happens if you touch a pig with trichinosis, worms in it. What about sea creatures? Of all the creatures living in the water, you may eat any that has fins and scales. Deuteronomy 14, verse 9. But anything that does not have fins and scales, you may not eat, for it is unclean. So there we hear that term used again in the Bible. You may eat any clean bird, but these you may not eat. Deuteronomy 14, verse 11 to 14, and then a list is given. The eagle, the vulture, the black vulture, the red kite, the black kite, any kind of falcon, any kind of raven, a horned owl, a screech owl, a gull, any kind of hawk, a little owl, a great owl, a white owl, a desert owl, an osprey, or a cormorant. Don't eat those. Do not eat anything you find already dead. Deuteronomy 14:21. Stepping away from animal products. Wine is a mocker and beer a brawler. Whoever's led astray by them is not wise. Proverbs 20, verse 1. And if we go to the contemporary English version, it says, it isn't smart to get drunk. Drinking makes a fool of you and leads to fight. And right, it's good we should know, it's no secret that alcohol consumption can cause major health problems, including cirrhosis of the liver, and injuries sustained in automobile accidents. But if you think liver disease and car crashes are the only health risks posed by drinking, think again. Researchers have linked alcohol consumption to more than 60 diseases. 12 risks of chronic heavy drinking: anemia, cancer, cardiovascular disease, cirrhosis, dementia, depression, seizures, gout, high blood pressure, infectious diseases, nerve damage, and pancreatitis. Again, the original diet, fruits, nuts, grains, and vegetables, were added after sin. You won't go wrong in eating clean vegetables. Look for fruit and vegetables with color. You can make your own vegetarian patties instead of that fatty, filled meat burger. Fruits, nuts, grains, vegetables. They are God's plant food for us, for our health. Don't they look beautiful? Don't they look inviting? And I hear people make comments, derogatory comments, about eating plant-based diets. But I want to tell you, you get used to it and you will feel healthy. And no, my friend, it is not rabbit food. Plant-based diet is a health-based diet. And it's God's gift to you. Enjoy those things that grow on the vine, on the tree, in the ground. Fruits, nuts, grains. Enjoy that good multigrain or whole wheat bread. And finally, let me say, dear friend, I pray that you may enjoy good health and that all may go well with you, even as your soul is getting along well. 3 John verse 2. In summary, nutrition, exercise, water, sunshine, temperance, air, fresh air, rest, and trust in divine power. New start. It's time for each of us to have a new start. Nutrition. Get those fresh veggies and fruits and avoid those non-plant-based things. Exercise. If you have a bug, if you've got COVID, don't just lay in the bed. Get up, no matter how you feel. If you can stand up, get up and move around. Don't let the liquids pool in your lungs, in your extremities. Exercise. If you're healthy, get out and exercise. Check with your doctor to see what you can tolerate. But 1 mile a day, 2 miles a day, 3 miles a day, 4 miles a day, you can walk and you can build up bit by bit. Talk to your doctor to see what's safe for you. Water, lots of it, outside, inside, hot and cold. Wash yourself. Let that water cleanse the body. Get rid of the soft drinks and the tea and the coffee and all those stimulants. They are not good for you. Sunshine. You know, sunshine is a source of vitamin D. And if you live north of Atlanta, Georgia, you probably are going to need a vitamin D supplement. But those in the equator belt, vitamin D from sunshine. Temperance, avoid the alcohol, avoid the tobacco. Those things are not healthy. It has been proven, the Surgeon General has stated that tobacco is a cause of cancer. And what about fresh air? In the morning, I like to step out on the porch and breathe deeply through my nose, filling my lungs, holding it for a few seconds, and then slowly breathing out through my mouth. In through the nose, hold it, out through the mouth. Do it slowly. Get all that junk that's been accumulating while you were resting and not moving. Get it out and get that fresh air in, especially if you can do it where there are trees around you. And rest. We need rest. The world is sleep deprived, and it's a source of destroying our immunity. We need rest. You'll know what you need by how you feel. And last, and very important, trust in divine power. Worrying doesn't help anyone. Trust in divine power. Worry is belief gone wrong because you don't believe that God will get it right. Peace is belief. Ann Voskamp said that, and I thought that was pretty good. If we follow Christ, we shall not have a spasmodical experience and be moved by circumstances and influenced by our surroundings. We shall not let feelings control us and indulge in fretting, envying, fault-finding, jealousy, and vanity. I found that in the book Reflecting Christ, page 318 by Ellen G. White. We need to trust in God. Let Him take care of us. If we take care of our health, we can certainly ask Him to do that. So we're talking about leading causes of death, heart disease and cancer, each of them yearly causes many or more deaths as have happened in the last year from the pandemic. So my friend, choose to face life and face it free of fear. Live a healthy lifestyle. Be at peace. I will include a link below if you need to give a boost to your immune system. It's another video that I've made. God bless, and I hope this is a blessing to you.